Who will lead humanity in the face of adversity? This question has been posed by many, but today we delve into the perspective of General Karni, the IRGC Quds Force commander. He is a figure who, despite assertions from the Iranian regime of non-involvement, hints at a role in the fight against Israel. "We are doing this every day," he stated, hinting at a daily fight against what he perceives as the enemy. And when an audience member suggested that Iran must exact harsh vengeance against its enemies, General Karni's response was clear. "We are doing this every day," he reiterated, adding, "We must thank our heroes in Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and all the countries that support the oppressed Palestinian people." He sees the fight as a divine duty, a daily struggle against those who stand in opposition. The question remains, who will lead humanity? According to General Karni, the answer lies in daily action against their perceived enemies. When asked about the need for harsh vengeance against Iran's enemies, General Karni's response was simple: "We are doing this every day." This statement, stark in its brevity, lays bare a narrative of unceasing retaliation. But what does this everyday vengeance look like? Let's delve deeper into it. It's a multifaceted operation, one that extends far beyond Iran's borders. It's a complex web of alliances and operations that spans across Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and other nations that stand in support of the Palestinian people. Iran, through its unwavering support, has become a pillar for these groups. A pillar that provides not just military aid but ideological sustenance. This daily vengeance is not merely a series of isolated acts of retaliation. It's a concerted effort, a continuous pushback against what Iran perceives as a monolithic enemy. But this daily vengeance is not just about retaliation, it's also an act of gratitude. As per General Karni, it's a way to thank the heroes who are fighting on the front lines of this conflict. These are the men and women in Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and beyond, who are risking their lives for a cause they believe in. They are the embodiment of the resistance, the human face of this daily vengeance. And then there are the martyrs, those who have given their lives to the cause. This daily vengeance is a tribute to them, a way to ensure that their sacrifices are not forgotten. Each act of retaliation is a remembrance, a way of honoring those who have fallen. So when General Karni talks about harsh vengeance, it's not just about retribution, it's about solidarity, gratitude, and remembrance. It's about a continuous struggle that is fought not just on battlegrounds, but in the hearts and minds of people across the region. As per General Karni, the daily vengeance is a means to thank the heroes fighting for the cause and to remember the martyrs of the resistance. General Karni's speech is not just about vengeance, but also about resistance, a movement that is taking a stand against the enemies of Islam. This resistance movement is not just a political stance, it's a living, breathing entity that is fighting every day. It's in the streets of Gaza, where Palestinian heroes are battling daily. It's in the hearts of the members of the resistance in Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen, who stand shoulder to shoulder with their Palestinian brethren. This movement is not just about retaliation, it's about coordination and camaraderie. It's about unity in the face of adversity. The members of the resistance in Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen are not just fighting their own battles, they are supporting their Palestinian allies, coordinating with them and standing by them. This is not just a group of disjointed factions, it's a united front, a collective resistance against the enemies of Islam. This resistance is not just about the physical battle, it's also a mental and emotional struggle. The members of the resistance are not just soldiers, they are analysts, strategists, and thinkers. They are constantly assessing the conditions, gauging the necessity, and making correct analyses. They are not just reacting, they are planning, strategizing, and executing. What fuels this resistance? What keeps it going day in and day out? According to General Karni, it's their divine duty. This is not just a political or military struggle, it's a spiritual one. It's a duty that they have been entrusted with, a responsibility that they carry on their shoulders. It's a calling that they have answered, a mission that they have embarked upon. Resistance, according to General Karni, is not just a movement but a divine duty. America's support for Israel has been a long-standing issue, and according to General Karni, it's time they face the consequences. As we delve deeper into the Iranian commander's words, we find a stern warning targeting the United States. General Karni's assertive stance is clear. He believes America must bear the consequences of its unwavering support for Israel and warns that the price for such allegiance will be much higher than what has been paid so far. General Kwani's words are not a mere threat. They echo a sentiment that is deeply woven into the fabric of the Iranian regime's ideology. It's an outlook that views America's support for Israel as more than a simple geopolitical strategy. In their perspective, it's an active participation in what they perceive as the oppression of the Palestinian people. He speaks of a day when the account of the Zionist regime and the criminal America will be settled in the same spreadsheet. This metaphorical language suggests a reckoning, an imminent time of judgment that the US will have to face. The tone and intent behind these words indicate a belief that America's role in supporting Israel will not go unpunished. But what exactly does this mean? What form could these consequences take? General Kwani does not provide a specific answer. However, his words are a clear signal that Iran and its allies are watching closely, ready to respond to what they view as injustices perpetrated by the US and Israel. General Kwani's speech serves as a stern warning to America, hinting at harsh consequences for their involvement and support for Israel. This statement, like many others from Iran, should not be taken lightly. It represents a critical aspect of the complex and often tense relationship between these global powers, underscoring the importance of understanding the perspectives and motivations that drive these dynamics. General Kwani's speech was filled with powerful messages and warnings, but what does it all boil down to? At the heart of his address is the concept of Iran's daily vengeance against its enemies. This is not a sporadic reactionary measure, but a calculated, consistent effort. He acknowledges Iran's role in the operations against Israel, and by doing so, he underscores the commitment and resolve of the Iranian regime in its fight against what it perceives as oppression. Then there is the crucial role of the resistance movement. General Kwani's speech is a salute to the heroes in Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and all the countries that support the oppressed Palestinian people. He emphasizes the unity of these factions, their shared goals, and their coordination in carrying out their divine duty. The resistance isn't seen as a mere political or military strategy, it's elevated to a spiritual religious obligation. This is a compelling call to arms that resonates with many across the region and beyond. And finally, we arrive at the stark warning to America. General Kwani cautions the US of the consequences it will face for its support of Israel. This isn't just a threat, it's a prediction. He suggests that the US will pay a much higher price for its actions than it has so far. He speaks of a day when America will feel the harsh consequences of its involvement and support for the Zionist regime more than it does today. So we have three interwoven themes: Iran's daily vengeance, the importance of the resistance movement, and the impending consequences for America. Together they form a narrative of defiance, unity, and retribution. General Kwani's speech paints a picture of a world where the oppressed rise against their oppressors, where resistance is not just a movement but a divine duty, and where America is warned of the consequences of its actions.